Hi, John. This is Jim Gillis with Win My Vote and wanted to invite you to create a group page on our site. So Win My Vote is an online voter information guide. And what you're looking at here is the sample ballot on our guide. So as a voter, it's very voter centric. I can sign up with just a social media account or an email address. I put my zip code in and it puts me in all of my districts. And if there's any conflicts with the district, if they're overlapping, then I can look at maps and other resources here to make sure I'm in the right district. So once we get that in place, we can build a sample ballot for the voter. So you can see here it starts at the top, and they can work their way down through the different districts and then state districts and into the Board of Supervisors, City Council, all the way down to school board. And you can see here in the last demo I had favorited E in there. But obviously they all start unfavorited, and you can then look at the candidates and you can favorite them. You can also click on the candidate and you can see their full candidate page with a YouTube video here and their Twitter feed here, and then some information here and a full bio. And you can see that I'm in edit mode here, so the candidate just builds all of this stuff themselves. So I'll go back and show you a fully built candidate profile. So I would click here and I could listen to the message.
It's always the Republicans who say you can't have paid leave, you can't provide health.
And I can see the different groups and organizations that endorse this candidate. And I can also see some issue statements here that the candidate can build, and they can build those with either a video or an image or text. And this is where the California Democratic Party would come into play. They would create a page and then endorse the candidate, and it's as easy as just favoriting that candidate on your group ballot and then either doing a written or a video endorsement of that candidate. So for example, here Barack Obama did a video endorsement for this candidate.
For more than a year now, across thousands of miles in all 50 states, tens of millions of Americans have made their voices heard. Today, I just want to add mine. I want to congratulate Hillary Clinton on making history as the presumptive Democratic nominee.
And I can say great, and I can favorite Hillary and move back to my ballot, and you can see now that her nameplate is green. I can also see that she has 50% of the favorites that are on this ballot, so she's clearly in the lead, and this will help the candidate sort of track their progress. It'll help the voter understand how their candidate's doing. It'll also help the parties and the groups and the organizations and the individuals that are endorsing that candidate to see how they're doing as well. And I can go into more about some of the data that we can provide for you on those numbers. But we also have propositions and measures. And for example, I can click on Proposition 55. I can read the summary. I can see the leading arguments for and against. And again, these are some of the groups and organizations that I trust, that I follow, and I can see them, and they'll all start, undecided. And I can then say, okay, great, I'm with you on this, and we'll say yes on Proposition 55, and I can go back to my ballot. So as I'm sure you know, when it comes to campaigning, and advertising and doing that type of stuff, they say that, in order to have the voter remember, you need to say your name or say your position 7 times in a meaningful way, over the course of a couple of days before that sticks. So, part of the idea behind Win My Vote was to say that stuff is crazy, right? They shouldn't have to advertise that much. So when we designed this, we designed it in a way so that I could go up one time, read the proposition, see the different arguments, look at the groups and organizations and individuals that are endorsing that proposition or opposing that proposition, and then I can vote accordingly. And then that way I don't have to then I can just move on to the next proposition, etc., etc., etc. and I can fill out my whole ballot, which will, I can then access on my way to the polling place. I can access it before I mail in my mail-in ballot. I can access it before I do early voting, and all of those decisions are already made. So would love to talk with you about the other major thing that we're doing, which I should have probably said in the beginning of this video, is that we've partnered with the National Student Parent Mock Election. And this is their home site. And this will be going out to approximately 5 to 10 million student teachers. We're still working with some get out to vote advocacy groups and stuff, and so it could be much bigger than that. We're still it's a completely free mock election, so it's going to go as fast as the internet will take it. But the students will click here for instructions. It'll bring them to the Win My Vote site, the student ballot, the student mock election sign up form, and then we'll be using the same ballots here, the same candidate profiles on the general ballot as we will on the mock election ballot. So if a candidate builds their profile here, they'll also see a full profile on the student parent mock election that will happen in late October, early November. I think it's October 28th or so till November 3rd, and that will be carried. The USA Today is one of our sponsors, so they'll be carrying that result nationally. And we're going to be going all the way down. We're going to have president's race, governor's race where applicable, and then Senate races where applicable, and then all of Congress. And we're thinking about maybe going down to the state Senate, state assembly in California, but that's still something we need to decide. But again, it's a great opportunity for the candidates to speak directly to the kids, and it can be a great promotion to see which candidates are leading in that student vote. Anyway, hope all that stuff is clear, and would love to talk with you as soon as possible, because things are moving quickly towards the election. Thanks. Bye.